everyone. Good morning. Thank you all for being here. I see some familiar faces, so thank you guys for coming and listening to my pitch. So I do tend to ramble on, so hopefully I can stay under the 15-minute mark. Like Brooke said, I moved here from California about 5 years ago. And my story is a little weird. I was previously married. My ex-husband and I started investing in real estate in California. Realized it was too expensive. We were using our own savings, things like that, to purchase properties. I actually started remodeling my own properties. So it was a triplex, our first investment property, and I essentially was doing a house hack. So I was living in one of the units, fixing it up, renting out the other two, and then moved on to the other one and the third one. So I learned a lot DIYing, doing it myself, and no, I didn't have any prior knowledge to construction or tools or anything like that. I had to learn off of YouTube. So YouTube University was definitely my best friend during 2019 and 2020. So COVID, everyone was actually staying indoors, so I actually had something to do during that time. That's kind of when all that happened. But then we decided that we wanted to invest out of state. My dad actually lived in Pulse Valley years ago, and so I kind of grew up learning about Oklahoma. And so we looked at Oklahoma as a state and surrounding towns within Oklahoma, and we came across Ponca City. It was really mostly because of the refinery, and we were looking at rentals since that's what we wanted to do. Realized there wasn't a lot of good rentals out here at the time, and so it was a cheaper market. We decided to jump in and started investing out here. I had a really hard time managing the contractors from many states away. So I decided I wanted to move to Ponca City, and then I got divorced, but that's another story. And within all that time, I learned to manage contractors. I learned how to vet them, how to hire them, as well as I was continuing to do some of the remodeling myself, and then ended up doing my own remodeling company. We now have my partner and I, which I have a new business partner from 2021 and 2022 and forward, and him and I have built TriVest, which is essentially what I'm here to talk to you guys about. But we do a little bit of everything. We have other clients, other investors that we manage their projects for. We do our own property management. Like I said, I have my own remodeling company that essentially remodels all of our projects. And then I work really well with other contractors and subcontractors in the area. I like to hire local, so if you guys work with any subcontractors, you probably know who I am. But essentially, TriVest, right? It's me and my partner. He's not here. This is a picture of him. But if you guys do want to write our information down, it is there. I didn't bring any business cards. I apologize for that. So I can go back to this at the end. So about us, essentially TriVest as a whole, you guys, I just told you a little bit about how I got started and why I moved to Ponca City. But essentially, Tamayas and I, we wanted to continue remodeling properties out here, single-family houses, which we have been doing since 2022 together, and we've been able to bring back some life into some of these houses. We've done fire-damaged homes. We've done houses that were full of mold. Those were some fun ones. And we brought all of these homes back to life. We were able to put tenants in place, or we've sold some of them as well. And recently we actually got into redeveloping in downtown, which is, I think it's my proudest project, because we took one of the buildings in downtown. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the old Pabst Building, the Boomerang. I see some nods. So that particular building was an empty restaurant since I had gotten here. I believe the Boomerang restaurant closed during COVID. And we looked at it, we saw a vision. I saw the upstairs, it was completely vacant. And I do have some pictures. I just love downtown so much. I do have some pictures here, and as you can see, the top pictures, it was down to the studs. It was a big empty space, and I just envisioned apartments upstairs of this restaurant, and we got to working, right? We designed it, we envisioned it, and it came out just as we thought it would. The restaurant has not yet opened. They are supposed to be opening this month, but I hear that every month. So hopefully this is the month that it opens. It is going to be another Mexican restaurant, but I know you guys all love Mexican, so it should be great. And it is downtown. You know, we don't have restaurants that stay open. They're supposed to be open until 11 p.m., so that should be great. And the upstairs is 4 beautiful apartments. We've got 3 long-term apartments and 1 short-term rental. So essentially I have it up on Airbnb. It is furnished, and it has been doing really well. We were supposed to have them all for long-term rentals. My partner doesn't like short-term rentals because he doesn't like the turnover and potential risks of all that. But I was able to convince him. I actually staged that apartment myself with some of this furniture. So I was really having a lot of fun doing that. And we put it up on Airbnb in July, and it's been booked all of August, most of September, and then we're actually booked October and November. So it's been pretty great, and it's giving us ideas on doing more short-term rentals. We actually have the building adjacent to that one under contract, and we should be closing sometime this month. They've had some legal issues, but we have the same vision of doing retail downstairs, and then upstairs 2 apartments that will be bigger than these ones. These are 1 bedroom, 1 bath. So the other side should be 2 bedrooms, 1 bath. So a little bit of a diverse apartments there. But yeah, so that's my proudest project. And again, I've done all kinds in terms of remodeling. And I know some people might be curious about the numbers, so I'll kind of run them down a little bit. So we did purchase that building for $330,000. We rehabbed it for about $300,000, and then project cost was total $630,000. We did get an incentive from the city, so I love working with the city, and I like to talk about that just because I know that, I guess it sounds like it is a secret, but it's not a secret. Kelsey always talks about wanting to kind of expand on other people knowing about the incentives. So they do have a couple of incentives if you do sprinkle your building downtown, or if you are remodeling your building, they do a percentage of that. So we did get $97,000, and I saw that check and I was like, this is the most money I've held in my hand. So that was awesome. And then with the mixed use revenue coming in, we are making $7,800 in revenue. So that's $3,000 with restaurant, and then $1,200 each on the apartments. But the Airbnb is, between $1,100 to $1,300. But just a little bit of that project, and then these are just some of the projects that I've done and my partner that we've done together. And I think I have about 5 minutes left, but I did want to talk about where we're at with the business. So we've got all these different things that we're doing with TriVest Properties, and of course, like, it's currently just my partner and I. So I do all of the rehab side of our business. He does all of the admin, lenders, anything computer related, financials. He's really good at that, and it's just us. And we've had a really hard time just finding somebody and letting go of some of our responsibilities. So I think being able to hire out an assistant to manage our day-to-day stuff would really help. I was just talking to Brooke about, I have 2 kids at home. I have a 2-year-old and a 1-year-old, and it's just crazy when I'm trying to do some work, when I'm trying to hop on calls. With being in real estate, and I've learned this the hard way, you have to do a lot of networking, you have to do a lot of capital raising, which is one of our other goals, learning how to raise capital in bigger skills. We do want to go after other downtown buildings in here in Ponca City, and in order to do that, we need to be able to raise bigger amounts of capital, and so far we've been able to raise in the last few years about $2 million, but that's still not enough for everything that we want to do. And so being able to do that, being able to hire an assistant, and then going after other opportunities in downtown, making connections with some of the owners. I do have a vision for downtown to be able to see a lot more diverse retail, a lot more apartments. My partner and I have been talking about potentially doing like a self-serve hotel. So I don't know, that might be an interesting one in the future. But yeah, so just these are kind of like the areas that we're working on to try and improve so that we can get out of doing the everyday, all the time, super busy, and managing more our actual business. So, yeah, thank you guys, and I will go back so that you guys can see our info right there. Thank you guys. I don't. Yeah, questions. Oh yes.
I just have more of a comment than a question, but I just wanted to say that we really appreciate you investing your personal money in downtown. This is a huge asset to the district, and being able to bring in that affordable housing is huge. And so that's what it's all about. We got to get this mixed use downtown so that we have people to shop at the stores that are down there and vice versa.
Yeah, thank you.
Place to live. So we really appreciate it.
Yeah, and thank you guys for your support. You know, everything with Main Street. I feel like it's really helpful that you guys are able to kind of promote us and promote everything that's happening, because we're able to actually utilize that when we go and raise more capital. So, thank you. Any other questions?
Can you talk a little bit about being a female in a male-dominated industry?
Yeah, of course. So like I mentioned, I am the essentially the one in charge of all of our rehab-related items. So I talk to the contractors, the subs, I manage them, I do the design plan. With the remodeling company, we have a crew right now of 4 people that I personally manage, those 4 guys. And so it was really hard at first. Obviously, I didn't know anything back in the day, and then trying to manage contractors out of state. They could hear me on the phone and be like, who is this girl? She's trying to tell me how to do my job. I would ask for quotes, and they overquote me. I had asked one electrician, I won't say who because he was here in Ponca City. I had asked an electrician to give me a quote on like outlets and switch replacements, and he was quoting me $7,000, and I was like, I know that's not the right price. And so I had to do a lot of research. I had to do a lot of my own learning, plus because I was doing the remodels myself, I got to learn how long things took. I got to learn how much material cost. And so I was able to then start building my relationships with the contractors, with the subs, and I could tell if they were overpricing something or if they were just kind of, throwing me to the side and not really taking me seriously. I've had incidents where back in 2021, my dad actually came with me to help me remodel a fire damaged house, and every contractor or sub that came through, they would go to my dad and be like, hey, what do you want me to do, or what do you need me here for? And then my dad would just be like, she's the boss, come talk to her. So I had to really just kind of get a hard skin and move on from feeling sorry or feeling upset because they wouldn't take me seriously, to just kind of showing them, hey, I know what I'm talking about, I know what I'm doing. I obviously, I've been learning for the last few years, and I know I have some stuff to learn, but I know what I'm doing. And so now the subcontractors that I work with, and obviously like my guys, they all know that, okay, I go to her, she's the one that's going to have the answers, and they've been amazing, the people that I actually still work with, and I'm able to text them and say, hey, I need this done, okay, cool, go and get it repaired or whatever, this is the estimate. So it was definitely hard at the beginning. It was a learning process, but I was able to kind of show my worth, which was pretty awesome that I was able to do that in Ponca City. Being a minority, a Mexican, like that was also another thing that I would go into feeling like, oh, like I'm not supposed to be here or whatever. But no, I mean, Ponca City, the reason I stayed here was because nobody really cared about the fact that I was a minority. Some men cared that I was a woman, but I was able to get past that, and so I was able to build a home here and everything, and I think that was probably like my biggest challenge. Awesome. Well, thank you guys for coming and hearing me talk.